Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Bolaji. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Jumoke.
Okay. Are you seeing other people in the chat, the Temitope, or you're calling out?
Hold on. My audio is still very low. Please hold on.
Oops.
So what should we do?
Are you able to see other
just
people?
I'm trying to
I can't see other people. I don't know if I'll be able to see them. I can only see their chats. That's why I'm asking for people to drop some comments for us to know that they can see and hear us. So I feel the link, there was some bit of I don't know if we can get access to a random person around that can confirm if they can see us live. I don't want to move out of the room. I would have just gone to check.
Let me. Your hobby is around. It's not around.
He just stepped out. I asked him to step out. Because it seems we are the only one here. I just want to confirm.
So let me just go off camera now and just check on my phone to see if we are live on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Get it? Yeah.
Jumoke, Temitope, is it better now? He's saying I can't post comments. But can you drop a comment? Can you drop something in the chat box? Temitope, I can't hear you.
Did you see my comments?
I can't see.
Okay. I just dropped something in the chat box.
Okay, show comments on stage. Let me see. Okay, I can see the one in private chat. And this private chat is just for the three of us. I want to see the general comments. Can you try and comment on that one?
My darling, we are live. We are what? Live. So all these things you are saying.
So like I just need people because they would want to ask questions, and if they can't drop a comment, then I don't know.
Let me.
So because that's one of the purpose, I want to hear people's comments and for us to be able to give answers to those questions. Because even myself is not allowing me to drop a comment. But Christiana dropped the comments the other time. Let me. So because that's one of the purpose, I want to hear people's comments and for us to be able to give answers to those questions.
Someone is giving.
Okay, so I can see Esther here. So okay. Let's just kick start then. Things I can confirm, at least someone can hear me. I just wanted to confirm we are not here alone. Okay. Christian, are you still there? I think I need to move out. Okay. Yes, Esther, I can see your comments. Thank you so much. Okay. Jumoke, please, you have to turn your camera back. Thank you so much.
I was doing background check for you. So
thank you so much. I was really concerned. Like, I don't know what's happening. The network.
It always happens. So yeah. Now we know people can hear us.
Yes.
It looks like Christiana is lost again.
Okay. So let's just start. It's 2:10. We've lost about 10 minutes. So good
I'm right
afternoon,
here.
good morning, good evening, everyone from wherever you're watching us from. Because I know different time zones and all. My name is Olajumoke. I'm a business development expert. I'm a core salesperson, B2B, B2C. And you're welcome to our safe space. This is the first edition of it. And what we are just going to do here is just to we are here to learn and relearn. We are here to explore things that reduces our burnouts, especially in high pressured careers like sales. And it's not just about sales, right? For everybody in the corporate world, there's just this level of expectation, high hopes, and tension everywhere. So this live podcast is just for us to kind of rub minds together on things that we can do to, stay sane and to protect our mental health while still trying to, hit the targets, hit the numbers, and, just get our daily lives moving. So, of course, I've said earlier the purpose of this podcast, and of course the topic is how to just like beyond numbers, and how to stay safe, how to stay sane, to protect our mental health um, outside all the daily targets that we are all meeting up. I'm not here alone today. I'm here with two beautiful ladies, as you can see them here. I have Olajumoke Fatoki. She's someone I respect so much. She's an HR expert. She's into the career space too. And, for this kind of conversation, we need an expert in that field to let us see it from their own side of view that, okay, you guys are saying you are highly pressured, you have a lot of mental stress with whatever you're going after. This coming from the HR aspects, representing the company now, this is the way we see it. So we just want to like hear from the horse mouth and let us see it from their own points of view, right? We also have Christiana Arolo here. She's also someone I respect so much. We've worked together before. She's also a sales expert. She's into tech sales. She's into business development. And we know she is also going to tell us from the angle of being a sales expert that this is what we actually go feel. This is how it is out there on the field. And this is just how it is outside us trying to, bring in the numbers for the companies. So first up, I would want to ask, let me start with Christiana, since she's a sales expert here. To you, when you hear beyond the numbers, what comes to your head? Like, of course, targets and all. But when we are trying to say we are trying to protect our mental health beyond the numbers, what comes? What does it mean to you?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Balaji, my lovely host, and thank you for putting this initiative together. I think that this conversation is very important. It's something that we should have started talking about a long time ago. When I hear beyond numbers, so just as the title says, it tells me apart from the numbers, I know that in sales, in our industry, numbers is the word, is the gospel. So when I hear beyond numbers, I'm thinking outside the numbers, what other factors or metrics should we be considering? When we chase numbers, quarter on quarter, what other factors should we look at? What other metrics should we take as important, just as much as we chase the numbers? So that's how that comes up for me.
Thank you so much, Timmy Tokwe. So our HR host, when you hear beyond the numbers from the aspect of the human resources person, what does it mean to you? Jumoke, we can't hear you. Can you unmute, please?
Oh, pardon me. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Awesome.
Loud
can.
and clear.
All right. Thank you very much, Balaji, for inviting me to this very important conversation. Like Christiana rightly said, it's something that should continue happening, and I'm glad that we are, chiming in on this. So when I hear the word beyond numbers, I have an interesting background, and I'm a storyteller, if you already know. So it's interesting that I actually started my career as a salesperson before I moved into core HR. So when I hear the word numbers, it sends me home, like it sends me straight to the beginning of my career when I always had that head of sales who was all about the numbers, saying, guys, we need to push, when it comes to sales, it's all about numbers. We are looking at performance. It's just all about, let's churn out the big numbers. It doesn't matter what is happening to you on the inside. It doesn't matter how you're able to generate those numbers. It's just about bringing out the big numbers. So now, as an HR professional, I understand what that means when you're just thinking about the numbers, you're just thinking about the big sales, and you're really not considering the human element, what goes in behind the numbers that you see, the sleepless nights, the trainings, in fact, burnout, which is one of the reasons why we're having this conversation. So all of those behind the scenes that happens before those numbers get to be seen is what comes to my mind. Are you paying attention to the human element, the people who are responsible for the numbers that you're talking about? So that's what comes to mind when I heard the title of this program, Beyond Numbers.
Thank you so much, Jumoke, for that insightful thoughts. So now moving to Temi Tokpe, as a salesperson, has there been any time in your professional career that you trying to meet this targets at some point now started having a downtown on your own mental health, both your mental health and your health generally as a person?
Okay. Thank you for that question, Balaji. So yes, there have been times where chasing chasing the numbers, chasing targets have impacted my well-being, right? And so I think the first part is even thinking about the targets, thinking about your quota for the month and how much you need to hit and where you are constantly, waking up every day, setting up to start work. And that's like the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh my God, I still have $20K to sell this month. What am I going to do? So that alone, I don't have like something to check my blood pressure, at hand, but I'm sure that that alone spikes it for me. That alone puts me in a certain space. So yes, I know that there are times I burn the candle on both ends. There are times I start in WAT and then in CDT I'm still working. I'm working late into the night, and even though I started early, and and the goal is these numbers, we must get it right. We must meet that target. And I think what keeps me going during that time is detaching mostly. Detaching from the results. Documenting everything that I do, so that even at those times when I don't reach that desired target, I see what I do. I quantify the number of activities I put in that month, and I can use that to improve going into the next month.
Awesome. It made me remember a time like that. Sales is really very funny in the
Mhm.
sense that no matter the numbers you do in a month, once we it's the next month, just like today now, being November 1st, all your effort for the
Right.
past month is just rolled away like what, and you have to start all over again. And you might be
Yeah.
the star girl this particular month, and the next month you have to start on a clean plate, and they're like, Olajumoke, where are the numbers? I was like, I just did 40 last month, and you were saying you are the star girl, you did 110%, and we are back here with zero, and you're just stressing me. Like they don't even consider the fact that all the past effort you've put, it's what matters at that point. So Jumoke, as an HR, what provision do you guys make in all of this, knowing that especially for people like us in the sales department, most times we are always bothered. There was a time when I was still in Nigeria. I could remember I was this close to meeting my targets, and there was a big prize up for um the winner if you could get to 100%. And I just had this little figure. Was it just 10% that was left? I can remember I was just walking on the street of Lagos that day and I was calculating. I did not know a car was behind me. It was on and it was beeping. He had to come down and drag me off the road. We're like, young lady, do you want to kill yourself? I want to meet this 100% and get this bonus prize. As an HR, what provisions do you guys make for such situations so that people don't burn out in the pursuit of getting to this peak of their career as an HR person?
Okay, that's an interesting one. And I think that sales is actually a very interesting career.
Very
And
toxic.
and let's get something straight, right? And I'm sure that both of you, you know that sales is like the life engine of any business, because if there are no sales, at the end of the day, you don't have a business. So I can definitely understand why there is a high pressure on that department, because it's like the lifeline. It's holding the organization together. But here's what I would say as an HR person. There's actually a very fine line between what's harmful pressure or a healthy pressure is in the workplace. So you need to understand that. So for me, as an individual or as an HR person trying to advise a salesperson who is getting to that tail end, because there's a very thin line, between performance and, falling on the other end. If you feel like you're already getting very close to that point where, there is a mental breakdown or you're experiencing burnout, then you need to pipe low. You need to pipe low as an individual. You need to focus on what is important. You need to focus on what is important. And I know that, of course, for a salesperson, what is important is definitely numbers. But you need to put yourself at the forefront of those numbers that you're trying to bring out. So instead of just, pressuring yourself, doing all the late nights, to make sure that you hit that target, you need to focus on what is important part time. That's how you need to strategize, basically, to know what you should be focusing on part time and manage your time well. I think that's one big area that a lot of people struggle with, because of course there is the high targets, you're trying to meet it and you're not really paying attention to what is important. And that's what I'm really trying to cut across here. You need to define your goals and you need to break it down into actionable steps, on how you can achieve them, as against just going head on, which is what most people do. And most times when you don't break things down properly to allot your time adequately, you will just go head on and, at the end of the day, you won't be able to have anything to show for it. That's why at the end of the day, you might be this close and you're unable to hit the target. And I'm not saying that life doesn't happen, right? You can as well put every mechanics in place. You can put all the structures in place, and at the end of the day, things happen, and for some small numbers, you're unable to hit the target. But what I'm basically saying, to avoid burnout and so that you don't feel like you put in all the effort and you didn't get anything, you couldn't show anything for it, prioritize your time. I would say be big on time management, and focus on what is important. There is this analogy that people use on what is urgent versus what is versus what is important. If you're able to really allot your time using that framework of what is important, what needs my attention now, which one is going to give me the biggest outcome, and focus on that, and then find ways to then dovetail into the others, you'll be able to utilize your time well, and don't burn out in the process because you're focusing your energy on what is important. And I think that's really the point I'm trying to bring out here, because at the end of the day, as an employee and as an HR professional, I always advise people to prioritize themselves. Remember when I started this conversation or answering this question, I said that most organizations exist for profit maximization, and it puts that pressure on the sales department.
Yeah.
And HR is there to actually help, to manage things. But at the end of the day, you as an individual need to understand your importance and manage your time well and focus on what is important per time instead of just, doing everything and having nothing to show for it at the end of the day.
Thank you so much, Olajumoke. If you guys can still hear us, just drop anything, a letter, anything, emoji, anything, just in the comment section so we know that we are together. Also, if you have any questions so far, you can drop them in the comment section because in about a few minutes from now, we are going to start picking the questions and giving them answers as it comes. So, Christiana, back to you. So as a salesperson, we know it's always about the numbers. So I would ask you, how do you stay motivated? Because trust me, it's close to a decade I've been into this, and I can tell you for fact that there are some good days and there are a lot of bad days. So what do you do during your bad days to stay mentally fit? Like the days that the numbers are really so low. How do you stay
Okay.
motivated? How do you make yourself still motivated in that situation even when the numbers are not just they are not looking good?
Okay.
Can you
I'm
hear?
not sure. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear
I hear
me.
you.
I think
Yeah.
my connection is timing out a little bit.
We can hear you. You can go ahead if you can hear us.
I'm not sure she heard the question.
Okay. All
Christiana?
right. Let me.
Did you hear the question,
Okay. Let me
Christy?
respond to that
Okay.
quickly. My
Oops. Looks like we lost her. Can
Nigeria.
you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Nigerian factor.
it's
Uh,
really it's really crazy. So I'm just okay, she's back. I'm
oh,
trying to.
bring her back.
Hi, Christiana. You are back. We can see you. Just go ahead.
I can't see her though.
Oh, let me see. Okay,
Yeah, I
let me
think I'm still backstage. Oh, okay, great. I'm back now.
okay.
Sorry about that, guys. So, how do I stay motivated on those down days when things are not going as I planned by the first week? I think one lesson I learned a long time ago is detaching from the results.
Hmm.
Right? Can you guys still hear me? You guys not
Yes,
frozen on my end.
loud and clear.
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so one lesson I learned is detaching from the results. When you are in sales and when you've been in sales for long, you would understand that it's not about you. It
Hmm.
has nothing to do with you. I know the pressure is always on us, and we literally carry the revenue of the organization. But one thing that has helped me stay balanced is understanding about me. And again, documenting my activities. So I document every activity that I do every day on the job. Everything that I do, I document it. So if you ask me in 2 a.m., ask me, Christina, what have you done today? I will give you a detailed list of everything I've done and the reason behind each activity and the goal for each activity. Right, so that helps me to stay motivated. I understand that I'm not just because sales is very wide. There's a tendency for you to just be doing a lot of things that doesn't really go anywhere. So it's important to have that mindset where you can channel your task, channel the things that you do every day towards revenue. And on those days when I'm not getting the desired results, I just remind myself that it is not about me. And I check my process. How is the top of my funnel doing? How is my middle funnel? And how is the bottom of my funnel? What is even going on? Am I even getting the right quality of leads? I ask questions, that make me uncover where there might be a problem. And even as I'm doing that, I continue to remind myself that, Christiana, it's not about you. It's about the solution you're selling. And people can choose to buy or not buy. But as long as you're doing a great job, you're documenting your task, and you're documenting every activity you're doing to make sales, detaching from the results is easier if you can prove that you're actually doing the work.
Wow, that's so
Yeah, so that's one
psychologically
way that
smart.
I manage.
That's so psychologically smart. Thank you so much for that submission, Temitope. So our
Thank you,
HR
Balaji.
person, yes. Jumoke, over to you. So I would ask you, most company always claim to be people first. They will say, oh, if you go to the job description and you're reading about their company, they say, oh, we are a people first company. But when you enter into the system, you as an employee, you will see that it's just a facade. It's not so true like they claim. So I would ask you, as an HR person, if a company claims to be a people first person, what are the characteristics that you should see in that kind of a company that at least would give you a sense of belonging, that, oh, truly, this company, they are a people first company?
That's a really interesting question again. And again, this is taking me back to, one of my previous experiences back in Nigeria. I used to work as an HR person in charge of the organizational culture. And I'm going into culture because this is where, what you're talking about, being a people first organization. It has to be, the culture of the organization. And, because I was holding that role at the time, it made me understand that a lot of organizations just pay lip service to some of the things that they claim. Like you rightly said, if they're advertising a role, you will see all of those fancy things, stated there: our vision, our mission, our core values. Some people even go as far as saying, the behaviors that they exhibit on the job. But at the end of the day, you just realize that those things are just pictures that they hang on the wall. The actual, working the talk is not there when you eventually get into those organizations. And I know that for a fact. So I'm going to be sharing what I know, what I have found to be truthful, or to be factual when you're trying to gauge whether an organization is right for you or not. Because I feel like that's what the question is about. If people are looking for an organization that places them first, that places value on their person, not just on the results that they are able to bring. So what should you be looking out for in an organization? So number one, you should be looking out for an organization that have leaders who check in on people, not just the task. And again, I've experienced this, especially where I currently work in right now, where with my line manager, we have like a check-in on a weekly basis. And this check-in is not just about, oh, how are you doing on the task that has been allotted to you? What are your numbers? No, it's nothing like that. It's always about, the conversation starts, of course, it graduates into work, but it always starts with me as a person. What are the challenges, that I'm currently facing? This person understands that I'm a toddler mom and understands the challenges that goes along with that. So we answer questions, along those lines. First, that makes me feel valued as a human being, like somebody who is bringing value to your organization. So you care about the things that are important to me. So leaders who check in on humans first. That's my first point. Not just your task and responsibilities. That's one thing you should be looking out for in an organization that claims to be a people first organization. Also, performance conversations must also include your well-being, your wellness. Like Christiana, rightly said, because I just did a bit of sales. I didn't spend so much time in it, but I know that it can be high pressured. And so when performance conversations are just focused on the numbers alone, you should be mindful. You should be mindful if the person is not checking in to see, okay, so like the question Balaji posed to you, what keeps you grounded? How are you ensuring that you're not getting lost in the midst of all of those things? So really, those are the kind of conversations that your line manager, or your performance should be eliciting from you. And also an organization where you feel psychologically safe. When people are not punished for honesty, for being truthful. Maybe in a particular month you don't meet your targets, and as a result of that, your performance appraisal goes abysmal, or it goes in the way that you didn't plan to. And I know that happens a lot from experience. A consistent performer that has always been hitting their target every other month, then one month they miss it, and then it impacts their appraisal badly, that's a different conversation altogether, right? But those are the kind of things you should also be looking out for in an organization that says that a people first organization, before deciding whether you want to stay the long haul or whether this is just this is not going to work. You should also look out for the HR policies. Okay, do they protect staff?
Are we able to see that? Are we able to get that information even before getting into the company or the system?
Currently, there are a lot of places that you can get information before, and that's thank you for bringing that up. A lot of people don't do that due diligence before taking up roles in organizations. You can do your due diligence. LinkedIn is a good place for you to find existing members of an organization that you can reach out to ask questions, and these are practical things that I myself have involved myself in. So you can ask to have a coffee chat with the HR manager of an organization. It depends on how you reach out, because people will say, oh, I send people LinkedIn DMs and I don't get feedback. How are you reaching out? That's a different conversation. But can you get all of this? Maybe not 100%, but you can get enough for you to be able to make a decision, by reaching out to people who are the people. Is just like sales. The product will tell a lot about the organization. The employees of an organization are the ones that can tell you what is really happening in an organization. So a good way to reach them is by getting to them in the back end, by reaching them through LinkedIn. If you know people who work in that organization, you want to have a conversation with them before you are finalizing the details of an offer. These are important things that people should be checking, before. Most times you are just excited. They say they've promised you a certain amount of money, of salary, and you just think that's all about it. Do your due diligence, and you can find out 70% of all of those things. Another good place that I recommend people to go to is Glassdoor. You'll be amazed at the information that you can find on that platform. I, for one, when I leave an organization and I have an experience, I always go to document it on Glassdoor. And I know quite a number of people who do that. So you will find the pros, you will find the cons, you will find the reason why people enjoy working in that organization. You would already see the red flags, and then it will be up to you to make that decision. You can ask questions. It's becoming even more and more interactive with the advent of AI, that people can ask real-time questions. What are their policies when it comes to performance management, and things like that. Like I said, I'm not saying you get 100%. Of course, things happen, things evolve, but you can get at least 70%, enough for you to make a decision, before you go into the organization. So thank you for bringing that to the fore, because I was under the assumption that people already know that before you need to do all of those, due diligence and all that. So those are the things you need to check before you can say, oh, okay, I'm going ahead with this organization, because you will see all of those things. But if you decide that, okay, this is not a break or make for me, and that's another thing I always tell people, because what is a break for me might not be a break for you. For you might still be able to carry on. Somebody else, it's a deal breaker. So know yourself, and put yourself vis-a-vis all of those things that you can see that people are saying. I always do random reviews about organization, and this is not even Glassdoor or reaching out to people on LinkedIn. Just literally putting an organization's name on your random Google search and saying, give me reviews about this organization. You'll be amazed at what you would find. So I don't know if that answers your question.
That actually sure did.
Thank you.
Okay, so I wanted to ask Temitope before, but it seems she kind of answered it in her previous response. So because I wanted to ask that, if there is one mantra, or if there is one lifestyle that you've stuck with that has helped you stay sane in this high pressure career that we find ourselves, what will it be? But I think she have given a response to it that, like, she considered it as a job, and this is another thing, just to psychologically stay balanced in that. But I would ask you, Temitope, like, if you are to see, you've worked with different companies, you've seen the different kind of HR settings and all of that, but for reals, because we never can say, there might be other HRs like that on this podcast view with us live now, if there's one thing you would like to tell them, like from your hearts, coming from the sales angle, what would you like to tell these HR people that sometimes make it looks like they make our job so difficult for us? So if you have an opportunity to like look into the eye of an HR person, like what will you tell them? How would you express it?
I was going to say that I don't think she's on the call.
I'm actually backstage. Oh, yay!
I'm so sorry. You keep going on
Yay!
and off, so it's very difficult
I'm
to know.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's the reception here is terrible. Okay, so I heard you say I should say something from the arts. My future my future HR person. If you're on this live, this is not for you. This is for others.
Are you talking to your actual HR in your company or not?
The future one.
Okay.
Okay, okay. So I think one thing I would say is for sales. I know that result is important, and our only result is revenue. So you might be a great salesperson. You work well with everybody. Everybody likes you in the office. It looks like you're aiming for leadership role. But if you are not bringing revenue, the connection is going to be hard. So what I would like to say is we should also look at well, I wouldn't say look at efforts as much, but also check the metrics, right? Let us check the metrics. If you have salespeople in your organization that are not performing, it's time to ask questions. Apart from checking the skill of the salesperson and saying, are they truly qualified? Are they using the right methods? Are they using the right tools? How about the product itself? How about the company structure itself? How about feedback that you've been getting for that product or solution you're selling that you have done nothing about, but you just expect the salespeople to go out there and sell, and just sell the product? So I would say, let's look at other metrics. HR people, if you have salespeople in your organization that are not performing, have a one-on-one with them, and also have a one-on-one with the product team, have one-on-one with every other team involved, and find out what else can we change, how else can we support the sales team, what can we do, to get them to get results. A great salesperson cannot sell an unsellable product. So this is say, if you're good at sales, you can sell ice to the Eskimo. And I think that's just something I need to say. Nobody actually really thought about it, but why would Eskimo buy ice? Really? Try selling coffee or a blanket, something to keep them warm. That one we sell because they have a problem, you have a solution. But you're trying to sell a problem to somebody who already has a problem. It doesn't work. So I would say let's look at other metrics. Let's look at other factors in that product. The first thing, how do they say? So they say the best thing about the product, or the best thing about selling a product, is if it's a sellable product. A sellable product already sells itself. The sales people are just cruising. Like a product that is good, a product that actually solves a problem. I see so many startups these days. They're solving so many great problems. They have so many new products. Some of those products the market is not even ready for. Right? Some of those products are not. It's like coming to Nigeria to sell a product where on Teams you can now maybe do it. Maybe you can now send videos on Teams, or not on Teams, on Google Meet, like for example. So like we're on this, and then you're bringing a great product so people can now send videos back and forth. They can send reels. Okay, it sounds interesting, but really, like, what problem is that solving? There's talking to people who are trying to better themselves, who are trying to go global, and you're bringing a product that doesn't even fit into their priority at that point. So many great products, but again, if you have salespeople who are not performing, look at the other brackets, look at the products, look at the system, look at the process before putting a large board on the salespeople. So that's my 2 cents right there.
Thank you so much.
You can imagine that I want to chime in on that conversation because that's my table right there.
You want to say something to that?
That's my table right there. I'm definitely not going to let that slide.
She has broken the table. Defend yourself.
And I think that's a really important perspective that you brought to the table. That's very, very spot on. And I just wanted to just, add to what you've said. And I've seen this happen, again in organizations where the blame, of course, everybody's looking for, who is that easy person to put the blame on. And of course, it's very easy, just like, the account department would always call HR the cost center. But what I want to bring out is the fact that it's a team. At the end of the day, it takes a team. Like we always say that it takes a village, but the culture that we have in most organizations is looking for who to throw under the carpet, and it's very easy, to throw the sales people. But at the end of the day, if an organization works together and everybody brainstorms, brings all the stakeholders in the room, to find out what the challenges are, just buttressing what you said, and what I have seen to be very effective as well. You will be amazed at the outcome, because this way there is an exchange of ideas. So as a salesperson, you're able to communicate the challenges that you are having selling that product, and maybe the software developer, I'm using that as an example, is hearing you. It's not a reported speech. You're sharing the live, transactions, the challenges, how you get stuck, trying to sell a product, and they can hear you, and they are able to, use that to refine their process, as against, somebody going to share a report with them. It's not the same, right? If you get what I mean. So that ability to bring people, all the stakeholders that are important, to the organization, bringing them into a room to brainstorm and walk through the line by line, the process, the product, and come out with something. It's always very effective. I know that the organization I used to work with, them, we called it Innovation Challenge, and that was what we did. Brought all the critical stakeholders into the room to talk about. We spent an entire month just brooding, brainstorming, and we created other products out of that. So now HR is involved, not just that HR is sitting somewhere, not being involved. The salespeople are directly involved, the
That's so
developers are involved. So the result is something everybody could speak to, such that at the end of the day, it's not just even the salespeople that are now marketing, even HR, because we understand the process, we are able to also market. So basically, holistically, everybody, all hands on deck. That's what I'm trying to say, is what gives better results. And I think that's what you also said. So just buttressing the fact that that's really the way to go.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is so, 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 so thoughtful. Like for that particular company, I give them kudos because taking that's being intentional, being deliberate about your staff's mental health too, right? So I'm going to throw a question, probably the last question, to both of you, and I want to get your view from the sales perspective and the HR. That like if there is a step to step or any thing that professionals can get on to stay mentally afloat, to keep themselves mentally balanced, because that is the whole essence of this podcast anyway, trying to tell them or trying to sensitize them on how to stay mentally balanced in while still trying to do their job, still be the best at what they do. So now I'm going to ask, what if there are anything you've been doing in time past, or if there is any if there is any step that you can advise professionals out there to take to be able to strike the balance between being mentally stable and still putting their best into whatever they are doing. What are the steps? And if it has worked for you, you can share. And if there are things that you just know that it actually works, you can also share. So I want to hear from both end, and let's see from the company aspect, the HR and the employee, which is the salesperson. So Christiana, who spoke last? Jumoke. So Christiana, please go first. Thank you.
I was waiting for Jumoke to go first so that I can break our own table this time. Okay, so okay, so
So sorry,
the steps that
Temitope.
I take,
Sorry,
yeah,
can you hear me? Okay, so for the last time, I
yeah.
want to just put it out there. If you have questions, because we are going to be rounding up in 5 minutes, so we don't keep people's time. If you have any questions, I want to assume probably most of the questions you have in mind, we have kind of infused it in the discussion one way or the other. But if you still have questions, you can drop them now while they share their thoughts. Thank you. Christiana, you can go ahead.
Okay, thanks for that. So yeah, so back to what I was saying. Steps that you can take to stay mentally grounded. I think that was the question. Steps that professionals can take to stay mentally grounded in this. So from my end, I would say again, detaching from the results. So as a salesperson, it's important that you know your core, like you know your stuff, know your work, like know your business, know it. Let there not be a doubt. So like if you're in an organization and maybe revenue is not coming in that month, or you're not eating the target that was giving you that month, know it. And there's one table that we didn't break on this conversation. I hope that we're able to break it maybe after this one or the next one, but I would kind of chip in a little bit of that. So know your work, know the stuff, know it well. Now, apart from knowing it, detach from the results. Sales is not, you can predict revenue, but honestly, you can't guarantee it until it's done. You can chase a sale for months, and you can chase a sale for 2 weeks. I've closed the deal where the initial contact was in, I think it was in April, and I closed the deal in September. Who would have thought? Now, same products, I've closed the deal where the initial contact was in 2 weeks, 2 weeks duration. Like, so you can predict revenue, but you can't guarantee. So it's important to know. And for our side, we know to always keep a large pipeline. So always have options of clients who are warm, who looks like they're going to close. But again, you need to detach from the results. So for me, what I do is I detach. And again, I document. So those are the things I've been eating on since. I don't say to people, we don't document. Like we allow all these HR people to take us for granted. We don't document. You need to document things, like you need to document the task that you do on the job every
Show
day.
your results,
You-
show workings.
exactly, you need to show workings. You need to know the things that are working and the things that are not. So you need to document and know your stuff. And again, detach. It's not about you. It's not about you. I think for most of us, we enjoy what we do. If you're in sales and you don't enjoy what you do, you will struggle with mental well-being. You will struggle with it because it's not easy to talk to hundreds of people every week, and everybody's telling you no,
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 no.
I don't want it.
So crazy.
In different words, it's just no. Stop disturbing me. Stop texting me. Stop calling me, and that's what you hear week in, week out. So if you don't enjoy what you do, coping is going to be hard. And even for those who really enjoy what they do, coping mechanism, one secret that I have every day, I have 1 hour on my calendar blocked out. 1 hour blocked out
What do
every
you
day.
do in that hour?
I watch YouTube, I play music, I leave my workstation, I go and lie down. 1 hour, you cannot negotiate it with me. That 1 hour, hey,
Mm.
I will, yeah. So I
Me
take that one to
time.
just
That's your me time.
exactly. I use it to so the same
Online.
way you want to go hard on your work, you want to burn the candle on both ends. Some of us are working in different time zones at the same time. You want to leave out time for yourself because if you are not actually resting, you cannot bring fresh ideas. I was part of a team and the bulk of the work was on me. But guess what? When they got people to join that team, to join my team, I was able to focus more on what I was better at. Like there was just suddenly there was mental space.
Yeah, because
I
you're
could
not
function better.
multitasking. Yes.
Thank you. I could function better. I could focus. So it's actually, I know that we always want to like prove ourselves, but please take out time. Put it on your calendar. If your organization uses Teams, block it out. That time, pick a time and then just block it out. During that time, you're unavailable. It's important. so that you can go back, you can refresh, and you can always come back with new
I'll
ideas.
tell
Okay.
them Christiana said so. She said I should block it out. So,
Yeah, I said so.
Madam
Plug it.
HR, what do you have to say to this?
I'm just feeling Christiana so much. Like she got this, and I really
Like,
love it. You would think, you know, that came through when I was initially responding to one of my questions at the beginning when I said, prioritize yourself. You know, at the end of the day, if anything happens to you, organizations will move on. You
definitely.
know, so everybody needs to understand that, yes, strive for optimum performance, but please, at the end of the day, prioritize yourself. And that's just me trying to tell you that we see you, we understand, and
We hope so.
as HR professionals, that's what we are also advocating for. So now on the organization aspect of things, right, this is what I would say. And I think that a lot of organizations did a big or a great job of this during COVID. When COVID hit, you know, a lot of organizations rose up to the occasion because it was new, right? People, you know, were starting to work from home, we're seeing different cases and all that. And again, I remember that the organization I was working for, you know, at the time, they were constantly the top management was saddled with the responsibility of reaching out to people. So it doesn't matter what your role was in the organization, even to the lowest person, you know, on the ladder, they were making actual calls to find out how people are doing. And I think it's time we bring back, you know, that culture, that practice. It wasn't only for COVID, because for all you can imagine, people are even going through more, you know, now than, you know, even in the time of COVID. So organizations need to do more in actually, you know, training their leaders to know how to check in on their people. If you don't train them, like we always say in HR, you can't blame them. And you know that principle applies to also HR people and leaders across organizations. Because for some people, especially for Black people, and I'm sorry that I'm putting this way, no offense, you know, we have this mindset that I learned it the hard way, and therefore you must also, you know, you have to learn it the hard way too. I don't know if you get what I mean. A lot of leaders, you know, are like that. It didn't come easy for me. So why should I make it easy for you? No, let the buck stop with you. If you can
Payback time.
exactly. And that's why they make life, you know, terrible and ridiculous for other people. And here is where the work of HR comes in. And of course, supported by the management of the organizations too, because there's only little that HR can do without the backing of management. We need to train people to actually know what it means to check up on people. Not just saying, how are you? And you're not even waiting to hear their response for them, you know, for you to determine whether they are all right or not, or whether it is right for you to continue the conversation. It's a training process. So I'm just going to say, you know, there has to be that organizational buy-in, and I'm saying management, empowering HR, you know, to be able to allocate the kind of training, especially middle managers, line managers, they need to take to be able to handle their people better, so that we can reduce the cases where we have, and I don't know how it is in Nigeria now, but I know that, you know, it got to that point even before I left, where people now begin to take their personal, you know, their mental health or their personal well-being into their hands, and they feel like if an organization is stressing them out, they're not even going to have any conversation, they're just going to come and drop their letters. And you know that doesn't have to happen if the HR people, if the people managers are well trained. You know,
Yeah,
people don't have to get to the point where they drop their letters to tell you that they are tired.
tired.
If you
Worn
have
out.
picked that up, exactly, if you've picked that up early on, you could have had conversations that could have saved that, and you know, save the organization a lot of money, because it takes a lot of money to recruit people at the end of the day. So you could have saved, it could have been a 50-50 case. The employee feels understood, feels valued, the organization has gained, you know, someone. So
Thank you so
in a
much.
nutshell, organizations should work, you know, management should work hand in hand with HR to support people with the right training needs, you know, and everything that is needed in between the lines to be able to ensure that people feel valued, you know, and people don't have to lose themselves trying to chase results.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Olajumoke. We have gradually come to the end of our podcast today. I want to appreciate my amazing guests, Temitope and Olajumoke, for honoring this call. I appreciate all your insightful thoughts, and I want to assume that all our viewers that joined would have picked one or two things to take home. That like it's not all about the numbers really, it's about you. Your mental health matters. Like Jumoke said, if anything happens today, they are going to roll out that vacancy tomorrow. So guess what, you have to, you are all you've got, so you have to protect your mental health first. Like Temitope said, you have to block 1 hour in a day to do your me time. Please do whatever you need to do to stay mentally fit
Yeah.
for your for the journey ahead. It's There's a lot that you still have ahead of you. So don't let that. And if you feel you really can't cope, you could quit. Quitting is not being saying you're a failure. It's just that these people are not allowing me to be me, and I can't deal with
Continue.
this like this. I can't anymore. If they don't appreciate me, there are lots of other companies that would. I've done that before, and it's just you breathe and you'll be fine. So this is us saying, please, in all you do, let's stay stable out there. Let's be mentally fine. Let's be cool. Let's stay sane and do whatever we have to do just to be fine.
I
Um,
have one. I have one addition just before we go. Please
one
take your
second.
leave. Take your leave. People have these habits where
Some
they are trying.
HRs don't grant that. They don't approve it.
That's a different conversation. That's a different conversation altogether. Because you will be amazed at how refreshed you will come back when you have taken
Even
your
if it's
leave.
3 days, two
Even if
days.
it's 3 days, and take power naps. I do that a lot, and I think that's what Christiana was referring to. I used to, mine wasn't 1 hour, but I'll just zoom out and just find
Do you do
someone
that
to take
physically
my
at
head.
work?
Oh
Or when?
yes. Oh
Wow.
yes. Yes. I mean, do what works for you. That's what you were trying to say, right? At the end of the day, if you have results, people would understand whatever processes you are putting in place, because they know that you are this person. Even if she's requesting for 2 days, we know she's going to come back with
Yeah,
results.
and
So
she's
be armed
service.
exactly. So be armed with results so that you don't get denied in cultures that don't encourage such things. But at the end of the day, please take your leave. I just wanted to add that, and take
Thank you
power
so
naps.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our guests. I appreciate you. To everybody that have joined today. I don't want to say this afternoon because it's 3 p.m. here in Canada, but I know in Nigeria it's sometime around 8 p.m. So thank you so much anywhere around the world that you joined in. We appreciate you. If you still have other comments that you don't want to go live, you can DM me on LinkedIn. I'm sure going to. And if the question is not directly to me, if it's to any of our hosts, feel free to just chat them up. It's a free word, and you can also DM me. I would forward the question to them. Thank you so much. We are going to be signing out in a few seconds now. I hope you are refreshed, you are enlightened, and you have more education at your disposal now. Thank you so much for joining once again. Hope to see you next
Thank
time we make
you.
another edition of this. Thank you so much. So
Thank you.
count the numbers, guys. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you. Let's do